Time and timelines. Daniel. The nature of time. One of the least understood concepts known to man is that of time. A great deal of headway regarding the nature of time was made by engineer Dewey B. Larson, published in his 1959 book, The Structure of the Physical Universe. When Larson asserts that both space and time are simply aspects of a reciprocal ratio that he refers to as motion, to have no other meaning, and cannot exist independently outside of this relation. He often drew an analogy to a box, with the outside being space, the inside being time, and the box being motion. If you have an inside and outside, then you have a box. If you have a box, then you have an inside and an outside. If you have an outside, then you have an inside, then an outside. So it is with space, outside, time, inside, and motion, box. The three concepts are always connected and cannot operate independently. Larson trademark S theory eventually became known as the reciprocal system of physical theory. In the re-evaluation of the reciprocal system, RS2-3, it is pointed out that the concept of space-time is analogous to the Eastern concepts of yin and yang, where space is the yang aspect, and time the yin. As discussed in Tigida symbolism, yin and yang cannot be separated, just as Larson trademark S ratio of space to time cannot be separated. Larson then took it one step further, observing that all the characteristics of space must also have a similar character in time. In space, we see a three-dimensional, coordinate spatial grid with clock time. There, from the reciprocal perspective, there must also exist a realm that contains three-dimensional, coordinate time with clock space. He refers to the former as the material sector and the latter as the cosmic sector. Identified in conventional physics as the universe of antimatter. For the material sector is our common reference frame, that contains the observable and measurable structures of the universe. The cosmic sector, however, remains unobservable and unmeasurable to our physical senses, though we can see its effects on how time changes space, those effects being called force fields, electric and magnetic fields. We cannot see a magnetic line of force until it interacts with a material object such as iron filings, and alters their behavior in space. So what we have in the reciprocal system model of the universe is two different sectors of existence, the 3D spatial, material sector of our common experience, and the 3D temporal, cosmic sector that we cannot directly perceive, but is still there, influencing space. With a proper understanding of time, the concept of timelines can be understood as a path through a three-dimensional, temporal landscape, where the ideas of past, present and future are just abstractions of that path in the temporal landscape. What is behind you is the past, where you are standing is the present, and what is in front of you is the future. The structure of the physical universe is an incomplete work that is currently out of print, superseded by the 3-volume set, Nothing But Motion. Basic Properties of Matter and Universe of Motion. Larson originally used space-time, and later changed the label to and motion. Is not to be confused with the common, coordinate representation of space-time used by conventional physics. 3. The re-evaluation of the reciprocal system of theory, website. In the reciprocal system, it is technically inverse matter, not antimatter, since the relation is the multiplicative inverse, not the additive inverse inferred by the prefix, onto. All material apparent in this publication is in the public domain and may be reproduced or copied without permission. Time and timelines. Phoenix 3, an investigation into the nature of time. These were a series of emails sent to David Wilcock over the last year, 2012, discussing a number of topics regarding time and the timelines. Project Camelot video. David Wilcock interviews Bill Wood as documented in the video. Bill Wood, Love Q&A. 5 Wood apparently came in on the tail end of everything, but I can clarify a few of the things discussed. As Wood mentions, the New World Order do not understand time, specifically the distinction between o'clock time and coordinate time. A circumflex 3-dimensional time, like its spatial equivalent, has coordinates. In coordinate time, you have o'clock space, our concept of distance. Wilcox 6 mentions this about 45 minutes, and when talking about moving into coordinate time, walking a distance, and translating back to coordinate space to appear in a different clock time. That is essentially correct, and it gives some insight into what the euro clock actually is. It is a euro scale, in fact, or euro that our consciousness uses the euro coordinate time to appear as a euro temporal distance, euro duration. It is a similar mechanism to space, where doubling the distance to an object looks the same as having its size, translation versus scaling. Then Wu folks don't euro trademark to understand this and try to apply 1D temporal vectors in a 3D temporal system that resulted in the necessity for a device referred to as a temporal vector generator, or TVG. About 58 minutes in, Wilcox states the purpose of the TVG was to align the timeline as a broken vertical bar, not exactly, though it can affect them. The TVG was a device to navigate 3D time, just like you would target an object in space with a gun except the target the temporal coordinate. Once you have the coordinates of where you are and where you want to go, you can plot a course from one to the other the tunnel. 7. The TVG, itself, is not much more than a surveyor trademark as instrument for the temporal landscape. If you were to target a spatial location with a gun and shoot something, the spatial landscape is altered. So it is with sending something to a targeted coordinate in 3D time. It is what you send that alters the timeline broken vertical bar, not the orientation of vectors. Again, as a spatial analogy, it is easy to blow up a building in the distance, but pretty hard to shoot a bomb to put it back the way it was. Same thing in the temporal landscape. If you blow something up there, you cannot put it back to the way it was because a past and a future are abstractions, not actualities. You are stuck with the alteration. Structures in the temporal landscape are unaffected by what we consider clock time. There, it is a clock space that acts in a manner analogous to the conventional clock. 8. Once they start messing around in the coordinate time landscape, they cannot undo what they did and try to keep manipulating nearby regions to alter the flow to where they want things to go. It starts this oscillation, bouncing from one side to another, as Wood described. They're always overcompensating and have just about lost control and literally destroyed the future, the distant part of the temporal landscape they were targeting, not causality. As mentioned, one must have the coordinates of where you are before you can plot a course to another. 5. U2, Bill Wood, Live Q&A, 6. I introduced David Wilcox to Larsona trademark as theories, including coordinate time, back in 2005, so he does have a fundamental understanding of the reciprocal system. 7. Exactly like Daniel Jackson, in the original Stargate movie, described the seventh chevron as the point of origin. A circumflex 8. The material sector is based on the space-time relationship, how space changes with respect to time. In the cosmic sector, the situation is reversed. Structure is based on the time-space relationship, how time changes with respect to space, hence clock space. A circumflex Phoenix 3, an investigation into the nature of time. 3. Temporal location. As discussed with Wilcox years ago, this was a ZTR, a zero-time reference. This reference was established for the Phoenix 3 project during the Philadelphia experiment, when the sun is shipped back to 1943. The ZTR for the artificial realities is centered on 1943, and they have about a 50-year range of fire, so to speak. In time, you don't trademark T-fire spatial structure as you fire O waves, because the coordinate time realm is either time appears solid, because it is the reciprocal of the spatial, material sector, which is empty. Coordinate space is empty with locations filled by time. Coordinate time is full with locations emptied by space. 9. So they're are like a couple of people playing a flute to a remote observer. Even though they may both play the note the frequencies will not be exactly the same, so the further you go, the more the waves go out of phase. Far enough, they may even cancel each other out from that phase difference. This is where the concept of range comes from. The computer equipment they use to generate these waves is through digital to analog conversion. Even with very high resolution, it is still a digital reconstruction. A broken vertical bar. There are errors that get worse the further in time it goes. Through the looking glass. Now let trademark us hop over to the looking glass. The Orion Cube is SM10 technology. But looking glass is a reverse engineering of the golden sun disk of Mu that is mentioned in George Hunt Williamson the trademark S books.1 when don't trademark Tino here the original device got to, but it was similar to the on Transport on Stargate SG-1. I think all the portals mentioned in the video were looking glass ring transporters not interplanetary stargates. As far as I know, Earth only has a single gate address, and only one functional device, down in Antarctica. The sun disk also had the ability to a remote view, which was how destination was determined by priests that would use it for travel. Using song, mantra and music, the priest could fine-tune the device to a very specific destination that could be seen on the device, before actually making the transit. It works with coordinate time, hence controlled by waveforms music, mantra, chanting, singing and the like. The old BIT-12 OCNI was an associated technology. They found that each places a kind of DNA resonance to it. In the old days, it was temples and monuments the large, stone constructs made for a very stable resonance that was easy to find with the sun disk. The frequencies here were on the inner band of the inanimate realm. Once they started reverse engineering the system, they found they could tune up to the outer band of the biologic and pick up on specific DNA resonance of any life form, giving them the ability to locate anyone, anywhere. The problems they have with the reverse engineered devices, both extraterrestrial and ancient, is that the devices engineered by man only contain an animate structure 3D space, only. They have not yet realized that the they have to use in these devices is living water 13 all life has a presence in 3D time and creates a natural crossing between the sectors. The third component is the consciousness not in this concept of empty space and a solid time is very important to understand in the reciprocal structure of the universe. Atoms are literally solids of time positioned in the coordinate vacuum of space. We then perceive the cosmic sector, the universe of antimatter, as a holes of space in the coordinate solid of time, which is the origin of the other theories of the 19th century. 10 Osmo is a designation to refer to the Saurian men or space men, often called or Eptilians. A circumflex their actual species is not within the taxonomy classifications of terrestrial life. 11 Brother Philip, Secrets of the Andes, edited by Timothy Beckley and Brent Rains, 1976. 12 Obit is an abbreviation for Outer Band Individuated Teletracer, which was leaked to the press by its designers due to ethical considerations. An Outer Limits episode was created with the same name for plausible deniability. As the ethical concerns regarding the use of this device were staggering. 13 See the research of Victor Schauberger, and the book, Living Water, by Olaf Alexanderson. 4 Time and Timelines. Of the operator they must comprehend coordinate time principles. The old priest created the discipline of hermetics and the river of time analogy to describe this function of consciousness. When you try to view 3D time from a space-only perspective, you switch from the linear, step measure equal intervals in a straight line to a polar step measure equal angles resulting in growth measure, which appears in infinite series. Draw a line on a sheet of paper. Put a dot above the line. Connect the dot to the line with radial broken vertical bar if you equally space the angles between radii. Trademark LLC where the radii hit the line at an equal distance they get longer and longer the further you get from the orthogonal, and eventually spread to infinity when parallel. The reason they called it looking glass, aside from Alice in Wonderland trademark's ability to transport to Wonderland, was that it was also a hall of mirrors. Because they assumed linear measurement in the polar, etheric realm, they got reflections upon reflections upon reflections each looking similar, yet slightly distorted by the observer. This gave the impression of Euro parallel universes. A circumflex Euro. The distortions were introduced by the consciousness of the observer, but in actuality they were just viewing a distorted recursion of the coordinate realm. Euro trademark LL. Follow up with some commentary on the timelines and how to alter them Euro, and even how to get your butt out of the predefined ones. Timelines. The setback that occurs in many of these projects is the failure to understand the properties of time. Unfortunately for us, 14 they are usually too arrogant to admit that their science is inadequate. Those in charge of these projects always listen to the Euro experts. A circumflex Euro. In my definition of an Euro expert, Euro, a person that knows more and more about less and less, until he knows everything about nothing. As a result, the incorrect concept of time being linear and vectorial. The Euro of Timmy Euro stuff, predominant scientific thought Euro, and is taught in all the schools, so most people never think beyond that box. In order to understand the Euro timelines, Euro 1 must understand 3D time as a temporal landscape, and in that landscape, the Euro future Euro is what is in front of you, and the Euro past Euro is what is behind you. The Euro present Euro is where you are standing in the temporal landscape. And I would like to clarify that the Euro present Euro does not change. If you were to freeze your presence in the moment called Euro no, you would be eternal. But it would also be rather boring, as nothing would ever change. So when considering the concept of past, present and future, try thinking of it as an orientation in a three-dimensional, temporal landscape Euro, then your position is constantly shifting, ever so slightly, even when believe you are Euro hostile. A circumflex Euro. Consider the implications of this scenario. Just like in space, no two people can exist at the same point in coordinate time. There's always some separation. This infers that each persona Euro trademark's view of the past and future is slightly different. The Euro broken vertical bar. The general features of the terrain, mountains, rivers, valleys, etc., can be agreed upon, but things up close can have a radically different perspective. If two people turn to face each other, then they are destined to meet in the future. What is in front of them, Euro, just a few temporal steps away. 1.5. Now consider the sonic side, the psychic, metaphysical or ESP side. In space, we can see a car a half-mile away, driving down the road heading towards us, and consider it Euro normal. A circumflex Euro in time. If one sees a car 14 Euro out Euro meaning the scientific underground, those people who work to decode and understand ancient and extraterrestrial science and spirituality without the knowledge of governments or the general public. 15. This is also how the upper paradox works. Euro broken vertical bar. Temporal adjacency, not spatial adjacency. So regardless of spatial distance, the two photons are still affecting each of their Euro trademark as orientation, like a couple of dancers doing a ballet at time. Timelines 5. Heading towards us in the temporal landscape, we call it Euro precognition. A circumflex Euro precognition is the ability to see a distance, technically a Euro duration Euro, in the coordinate time landscape Euro. Larsona Euro trademark is concept of clock space. If you and I were standing 10 seconds apart in that temporal landscape, that car might hit you and miss me, even though we Euro predicted an impact, Euro because we both saw it heading our way. We could discuss the approaching car, and people in the spatial realm would think we are telepathic Euro because we are standing right next to each other in time, and our spatial bodies could be miles apart. The Euro timeline is Euro are just a larger view of the same system Euro rather than people on the landscape. Consider towns and villages, collectives that, due to their temporal proximity, will share a similar past and future Euro, but not necessarily identical. When a timeline is created, what has happened is that someone hired a temporal bulldozer and altered the terrain. With a TVG, you can target a specific feature of the terrain and with appropriate resonance, flatten a hill, change the course of a river, or build a mountain. You have not changed the course of anyone living in the temporal landscape, but now they have to work around the modified features of the landscape. Suppose you were driving down the road to work, but today someone dropped a tree across the road. Rather than deal with the alteration of the terrain, odds are you will just turn around and take another route Euro, an alternate route, or in the temporal landscape, an alternate timeline. Because the tree was in front of you, you consciously changed your future by taking a different route, and by taking that route, you will encounter many new things and situations that you would not have encountered on the old route. Now Hero trademark us the surprise consequence Hero broken vertical bar. There's no temporal law that says you cannot get out of your car, move the tree, and continue along the route you wanted to follow in the first place. It creates an inconvenience, 16, but is not insurmountable. Once you know what is coming, you don't Hero trademark team to still be in the way once it gets here. If you were standing on a street, looked up and saw a piano falling out a 10th story window right above you, would you just scream, Hero and is near? Hero and get squashed, or just step out of the way? If you remain ignorant, Hero trademark LL just follow the crowd around the obstacles placed by those that form the timeline, going where they want you to go. Let Hero trademark us face it, people are lazy and will usually take the easiest path. And that is how they keep control Hero, providing easy Hero paths, Hero not only in timelines, but in politics, legality, economics, food, Hero broken vertical bars, just about anything you can name. Odds are you never even knew that there was a choice. Those who wake up, have a choice. Implementing the choice is another matter. The illusion of reality. In a communication with David Wilcock, he stated, I had two different insiders tell me that the reality we experience is a consensus that is driven by our perception and thought, to varying degrees. They explained that it is a very classified secret that both mirrors and magnifying glasses can break through that. We can see a ghost, for example, in the mirror even though our perception will not allow it to be there if we see it right in front of us. Then the other insider said that when you put two mirrors facing each other it gets even more interesting Hero, and that this was a Hero ovary, very sensitive information. A circumflex Hero. 16 Many of these timelines are Hero inconvenient chess Hero, as Hero trademark channeled by Carla Rueckert, put it, regarding 2012. 6 Time and timelines. You have to remember that most Hero insiders Hero don't Hero trademark team know, as the experts that get their information from don't Hero trademark team know either. The Hero trademark as comment about news reporters is applicable here. Hero that which you do know, you do not understand. That which you do not know, you invent. A circumflex Hero 17 I didn't Hero trademark Hero now Hero until I became an outsider and several of us former insiders started comparing notes and going Hero what the heck. Hero it took decades of research to get to the point where we have a viable model of what is going on. There's a lot of confusion that arises with the concept of parallel universes or timelines. From what we Hero trademark V found, it would be better expressed as a Hero potential universes Hero that are generated by a type of consensus reality. But you have to understand that it is not a general consensus Hero. It requires knowledge of how bioenergy works and some of the concepts promoted by Franz Mesmer in the late 1700s. When people believe the Hero or reality, Hero it reinforces the pattern. This is why Hero social norms Hero are considered so important these days Hero a consensus reinforcement. If people thought for themselves, those potential realities would collapse. Regarding mirrors, these techniques used to be referred to as fairy stones. For things like mirrors, it depends highly on the composition. The reflective surface must be a heavy metal, like the old silver-backed mirrors. The aluminum mirrors common these days, much cheaper, don't Hero trademark really work. The heavier isotope of silver contains a good quantity of captured neutrinos, which in a charged state can reflect a portion of coordinate time structure into coordinate space. 19 You can put two silver mirrors facing each other, one with full reflection and one partial, and you basically have a Hero ghost laser, a Hero where the pattern undergoes a Hero light amplification. A Hero between the two mirrors is in the old laser setups. If people have a clear understanding of the Hero afterlife Hero, those in power would lose their ability to control through fair Hero. Can a Hero trademark team of that? Can we? Project Camelot video, Dan Barish. I have some comments on the Project Camelot Hero Don Barish Hero video 20 where he is talking about the Orion Cube, looking glasses and timelines. The Orion Cube was the core of the Montauk chair, used to direct temporal experiments. The cube is actually the navigation computer from an SM spaceship, probably one of the smaller scout vessels. Consider that in order for a spaceship to travel faster than light without time dilation, it must be able to successfully navigate through coordinate space and coordinate time, simultaneously. Essentially, the Euro provides a window into both realms for the pilot to navigate with. What happens with FTL travel is that as you pass the speed of light, the EM barrier, the spatial dimension and the direction of travel shifts into the coordinate time realm, as speed is a reciprocal relation between space and time. You cross the barrier, and you start having a temporal dimension instead of a spatial one. But, since time is 3D, not a 1D vector, you have to keep the ship going straight in the coordinate time realm, which means you need to be able to see the realm to properly navigate it. This is 17 Babylon 5 episode, Euro Deconstruction of Fallen Stars. A Circumflex Euro 18. All the work on mesmerism and etherology was debunked because it actually worked too well as a way to manipulate the masses, and the elite wanted to reserve it for themselves. An excellent summary can be found in James Stanley Grimmace's Euro Trademark's 1850 book, Etherology, and the Phrenology of Mesmerism and Magic Eloquence, including a new philosophy of sleep and of consciousness, with a review of the pretensions of phrenomagnetism, electrobiology, etc. 19. An understanding of Larsona Euro Trademark's atomic model, plus the RS2 research done by Perret on quadrupolar neutrino charge, would be needed to comprehend how this actually works. 20. Project Camelot Video, Dan Bears 7. What the Orion Cube does. Upon transition to FTL velocity, the volume of the ship has been altered to 2 spatial dimensions and 1 temporal only Euro, which means that in space, it appears as an area, not a volume, usually a flat disk or saucer shape, depending on the FTL speed. It gets flatter the faster it travels beyond the speed of light, the reciprocal relation, more time, less space. In time, it is cylindrical or jet-like, like a meteor streaking through the temporal landscape that needs an accurate flight path so it arrives at both the correct location in coordinate space, and in coordinate time. In the Phoenix 3 project, they still had all the bits of the ship Euro Trademark's navigational system, the cube, interfacing pilot Euro Trademark's Seat Euro, the Montauk chair setup described by Preston Nichols, Al Bielek and others. Thought Euro Trademark's what we ended up hooking to the IBM mainframes, which were essentially a simulation of the responses of the spacecraft, though they didn't Euro Trademark to tell us that. They knew the ships traveled FTL, so they knew the device could somehow affect time, and the project was built upon that principle. They were able to fool the navigation system into thinking the craft was accelerating past the speed of light, so it would open the temporal navigation window Euro, the vortex Euro, even though it remained fixed in space. Of course, that created a few other problems, as occasionally happens with simulations versus reality, like the oddball disappearing and strange behaviors of animals in the vicinity. It appears they either had other cubes from other craft, or pulled the one from Montauk prior to the abandonment of the project in 1983. Euro Trademark debunked that just replaced the room full of IBM mainframes with a PC that's based Euro, probably a lot more computing power than we had back then Euro, which made the device much more portable. From what Bears related, it doesn't Euro Trademark to look like things changed much Euro. They Euro Trademark were probably still using my original Euro chair Euro driver code I wrote for the IBM. I don't Euro Trademark to know what they did for the interface, as the chair required a person with sonic ability to use it. Euro Trademark did guess they reverse engineered some sensors to pick up the general psycho-emotional activity in the immediate area, to control the projection and the coordinate time. Without some kind of Euro pilot, Euro 21 it would be random and useless. The looking glass is not the same technology. It still has all the properties of the Sundisk Mu, so I still believe it was reverse engineered from that artifact. I assume they disbanded the looking glass technology not for the sake of humanity, but because it stopped working. Euro broken vertical bar, the original Sundisk, according to the Peruvian records of the elder race, made use of the naturally occurring gravitational null nodes, also called a vortex, a euro o dead spot euro, or in conventional science, a euro o wormhole euro, or Einstein-Rosen bridge 22. This allowed simple access to the coordinate time realm through the use of vibrational control, song, chant, mantra, instruments. But, as our conventional technology became more and more based on electromagnetism, with the corresponding strong EM fields and power distribution, it literally pushed these nodes off the surface of the planet Euro, though they did continue to occur in the upper atmosphere and nearby space. Without a nearby node to lock onto, the looking glasses stopped functioning. Of course, if something were to interfere with the power distribution on a planetary scale, then these devices would once again start working. Regarding the timelines, we are still on the Montauk-generated timeline, which is called T1V83. That is just about collapsed. The detour in the temporal landscape is rejoining the original road, along with the Euro time lateral Euro imposed by the Confederation, 23 many years ago. When both of those routes terminate, which should be by the end of this year, we will be back on the natural Timoleon Euro and other. 21 Duncan Cameron was the best of the Montauk Euro pilots. A circumflex Euro 22 another concept greatly misunderstood by conventional science, but easily explained with cosmic sector coordinate time principles. 23 The Confederation of Planets is mentioned in the Law of One Material, also known as the Divine Council or Andromeda and Council. 8 Time and timelines. Words. We Euro trademark LLB walking on the road to where evolution is supposed to take us, through three-dimensional Timmy Euro, a timeline 0, T0. Timeline 1, T1, and Timeline 2, T2, are both artificial detours, with different groups erecting barricades and detour signs in the temporal landscape, trying to direct the population down those paths. The Timeline 1 detour signs are environmental disasters that are designed to increase the global temperature by several degrees. This is the New World Order preferred route. What the timeline is structured to do is to first increase the global temperature through the introduction of hydrocarbons into the atmosphere Euro, not from flatulent cows, but something on a much larger scale, say something way out in left field, like puncturing the Earth Euro trademark S crust where it is very thin at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico, to allow the almost limitless hydrocarbons, oil, gas, trapped in the asthenosphere to escape into the atmosphere and cause a massive greenhouse effect. Not that something like that could ever happen, right? The petrochemicals will raise the Gulf temperature substantially, alter the natural course of weather systems in the northern hemisphere, and raise the global temperature 2-3 degrees Celsius, which will actually give the northern hemisphere a richer growing season for a Euro at the expense of the southern hemisphere, which will be ecologically devastated. Of course, land that will get really cheap and be bought up by the big oil folks Euro. How much of Chile and Argentina's Bushco bought? One more Euro accidental Euro in the northern hemisphere to kick the global temperature up another 2 degrees, and the northern hemisphere becomes a wasteland with few residents, while the southern hemisphere will flourish Euro. Of course, all the powers that be will be nice and comfortable in their new, southern hemisphere paradise. Easy solution to get rid of the third world Euro undesirably Euro first, then reduce the world population significantly as the bulk of the population is in the northern hemisphere. Timeline 2 runs into a major storm in the temporal landscape, due to the solar transition. 24 Both T0 and T1 just catch the edge of the storm Euro, T2 runs right through the middle of it. This is when the Earth experiences a Euro or flare Euro 25 that people have been interpreting as some kind of galactic or solar Euro micro wormhole Euro event. It actually is to do with the solar magnetic ionization level, not wormholes, which will take a significant hit as our solar system crosses the galactic neutral magnetic sheet. If you know in the T1 and T2 scenarios, time travel and humans are present, designated P24, P45 and P52 by Barish, the J-Rod. Take a close look at Euro. Both groups are still 3-road density and no longer on Earth. This should tell you something about what T1 and T2 are designed to do in the long-term Euro, to put mankind back into another third density cycle, rather than to advance the 4th density Euro, which is the root of timeline 0. The realm of coordinate time. Back at Montauk, One of the early projects was to amplify Psychic Eero trademark's powers to control emotions and reactions of people at a distance. This was an accidental discovery, as the effect on the local people occurred in the opposite direction the Sage radar dish was pointed in. The bulk of the radio energy was being reflected forward towards the test subjects on the ship at sea, and what did not get reflected Eero and often ended up on town Eero had some peculiar properties to it. Both animals and people would pick up the emotions of the person in the chair and react to them as though there was someone there causing them. The only problem was that it was a non-linear response. Everything that went on in the chair room was recorded. The psychic called Eero trademark T-burp without getting the attention of security. And they always had to tell what was on their mind and describe any strong 24C paper on geoengineering. 25 Perret, Bruce. Eero the Earth Eero trademark its core, the geophysics of planetary evolution, Eero reciprocity XXVII, A circumflex, -1, Sprin, 1998. The realm of coordinate timeline. Emotions, as those variables would affect the experiments, and we had no way of compensating for that. Through correlating that information with the behavior of people and animals nearby, they found that the emotional content was temporally displaced, shifted into the past or the future, depending if the psychic was thinking of the past. Shoot, I forgot to return the library book, or in the future, wonder what Eero trademark LL had for dinner tonight. But the scale was larger. A thought a few hours ahead, like dinner, could translate to a week or more until the effect was manifest. 26 Back then, they did not have a concept of coordinate time, but did have access to a Eero secret science Eero that they had apparently obtained from the Germans after World War II, which was based on some of the other theories of the 19th century. I recall Maxwell being mentioned on occasion, as well as Einstein Eero trademark as unified field Eero, which he apparently did try to publish in the 1920s, but was pulled for one reason or another. But they did know that the speed of light wasn't a Eero trademark T limit, as it is said to be these days, but a boundary that was the doorway to this etheric realm, which somehow altered time. It wasn't a Eero trademark T until after the project was shut down that Dewey Larson had published sufficiently on the nature of his cosmic sector Eero, a realm of three-dimensional Timmy Eero that brought a lot of the pieces together. Looking back at all the anomalies, with that cosmic sector knowledge Eero broken vertical bar thins make a lot more sense. When they were running the experiments with the chair back at the base, strange things would always happen. It got so frequent that people just tended to ignore them. Things like sitting in the mess having lunch and having a whole wall just shimmer and fade out of existence for a few minutes, then solidify back to what it was. When stuff like that happened, people would just pick up their trays and move to the other side of the room and continue eating. Ghosts, people that you see at Arena Eero trademark T there, and poltergeist-like activity were very common. Things would fly up into the air without warning, shoot across the room Eero broken vertical bar made for an interesting job. They even had a team of paranormal experts from some psychic institute studying what was going on and questioning folks. Every now and then we Eero trademark D have to attend a presentation from them, probably to keep people from panicking and going public. It wasn't Eero trademark T all good stuff, though. I believe a lot of it was documented in the Philadelphia Project material. Now and then, rather than taking out a wall, it would catch a person or two, and they would Eero go fast. Eero will get stuck in the green Eero or Eero go blank. A circumflex Eero. Perhaps I should clarify some of those terms. Eero sense when time begins to infringe upon space. First thing you sense is Eero going fast. A circumflex Eero. It is a feeling that time is racing through you, though everything appears to be running at a normal pace about you. When you feel that, run. Yo Eero trademark we about to get Eero all stuck in the green. A circumflex Eero. I think it is natural Eero trademark's way of warning you to get out of the way. Eero sent what happens next is the air turns green. Pea soup green. If yo Eero trademark have ever been in a storm shelter when a tornado goes overhead, yo Eero trademark LL know exactly what Eero trademark am talking about. The air turns green and starts to take on the Eero thickness Eero to it, eventually like trying to move through jello. You can get out of the way when it first starts. If not, then you are all stuck in the green dot. A circumflex time is perceived in space as a solid the inverse of the spatial vacuum or an other that has a thick soup feeling to it, like trying to run in a swimming pool. And the green then fades out and the objects in the field start to shimmer like the heat waves in the desert to thins in the distance. The air doesn't trademark T-shimmer the objects do. It is as though waves are running through them. Only lasts a few seconds, then goes blank. A circumflex it becomes somewhat invisible, though it is still physically there, like a wall turning into a clear liquid. This is what they were originally trying to accomplish. Optical invisibility on the Delaware 173 USS. 26 Larson explains this differential in his theory as the inter-regional ratio, which is a normalization of coordinate time to clock time by scale and space. 10 time and timelines. Eldridge, Rainbow Project. When a person goes blank, you have to act fast and mark out the location and lay hands upon them, as they are not easy to see. Usually anyone new to the base would be commanded to do this, as it was found that exposure to these field effects was cumulative, and if you tried to save someone once too often, you would go blank as soon as you touched them. And you would have to touch skin to skin if you could find their skin. When someone went blank in the winter, all bundled up with clothes, about the only exposed skin area was a persona trademark as no not easy to find. Though they were still there, it was in a distorted form, so trademark didn't have to feel around and wait to see if anything happened. When you didn't make contact, skin to skin, they would start to transition back and you would normally call over others to help, and the person would come back to normal. Curiously, when an animal objects would go blank, they would just come back after the field was turned off, as in the Eldridge. Only biological organisms needed an assist. If the person goes blank and no one is there to help, good chance they will get stuck. A circumflex getting stuck means a person is fully conscious and totally paralyzed. You can't trademark to even blink your eyelids. It is as though clock time for the body has come to a halt, and not even the corpuscles in your blood can move through the bloodstream. People who have been go into a panic very quickly, for good reason. Those that have been stuck refer to it as incorporated. A circumflex it causes some substantial psychological trauma. Laying on of hands can get a person out and back then not always back to normal. A circumflex it is a terrifying experience. Depending on the strength of the field and the time trademark they've been stuck. You can also freeze. A circumflex the shimmering form disappears, and there is no physical evidence that anything, or anyone, is there. If the position was not carefully marked, there is no returning from the freeze. When a person goes into a freeze, the area is roped off and everyone is kept clear, save some specialists with demagnetized equipment they use to unfreeze someone. In this state, there is a high sensitivity to localized magnetism. If a person with a pocket compass gets too close, the person in the freeze will spontaneously combust and will burn there for hours or even days. Those that have been brought back say that perception is immensely distorted and are acutely aware of the passage of time. Minutes feel like days. You cannot comprehend your environment. It becomes ghost-like and distorted, like you are between life and death and both realms are mixed together about you. And you cannot move, talk or do anything about it. A person can also be pushed into a deep freeze, where the sense of time is completely gone. It is impossible to tell if a minute or a century has passed. The few that have been brought back from a deep freeze say that there is another world out there, a world that defies description and they are usually overcome by madness, a result of their inability to comprehend what happened. We now suspect they have transitioned into the cosmic sector, where their physical and motor skills are useless, and everything would be seen by human consciousness as inside out. Thought trademark is just some of the fun of messing around with coordinate time. We ran into a lot of problems trying to deal with the cosmic sector. Larson trademark is named for coordinate time, as all interaction with no matter how precisely calculated would have random consequences. As it turns out, Coordinate time is not this empty void that the 19th century other researchers led people to believe. It is an entire universe unto itself, with stars, planets and life. The shamans of ancient traditions were fully aware of the etheric life in this coordinate time realm. They developed skills to actually see them in their interactions with people. Many of the lower life, the realm of coordinate time 11. Forms are parasitic in nature and are attracted by persona. Trademark SK27. Tasting food. We eat food to build energy. They eat energy to build form. They were attracted by strong emotions, particularly the negative ones such as fear, which was abundant at Montauk. It was the presence of these temporal entities that messed with a lot of the calculations, though we were pretty much unaware of it at the time. If we realized it, we trademark D probably have called in an exorcist or two. We knew something was going on that appeared random in nature, the movement of these etheric life forms, but did not have a good understanding of the realm we were punching a signal into, nor that there might be non-corporeal forms living there. In the Montauk literature trademark V. It was said that Duncan Cameron summoned a creature from the id, a monster from the unconscious. Well, our unconscious is the consciousness of coordinate time, since they are reciprocally related. What Cameron actually summoned was probably one of these etheric life forms, akin to one of our great apes, and pulled it through sufficiently that it could directly interact with physicality and destroyed the base. Once all the transmitting equipment was destroyed, I think Nichols did thought I was trademark T there that night. That entity moved back into phase with his own realm and disappeared from ours. But that kind of energy signature will leave footprints. People are still seeing some strange things out at a point 28 from lobster boats. After 20 years. As a trademark V mentioned frequently, the people running the Phoenix 3 project really did not have a clue as to what they were doing. It was usually trial and error, mostly error. They had some advanced technology that was built as foreign technology to make you think it was Russian or Chinese but even Russian and Chinese technology is based on the same physics that everyone is taught in school. This stuff did things that was out of this world, and obviously it was. When they trademarked these start talking foreign tech, those of us down at the bottom of the ladder would just look at each other with that anything you say expression. None of us really had a clue of the larger picture, as we would only work on sections of projects. But with all the information that has come out since those times, a larger picture can be assembled from the pieces. Some of the things that we did find is that there are two different kinds of technology that is in use. The electromagnetic technology we use today comes from the SMS. There is also a different kind of technology that is used by the enemies of the SMS, the LMS, or the little men. A circumflex 29. They have a mechanical technology that is similar to the vibratory physics people discuss with other theory, in particular the research of John Worrell Keely. 30. The two technologies tend to be mutually exclusive. They stop working in the presence of each other. There was also a great deal of difficulty with LM technology, as man does not have the physical senses to interact with it properly. You would pick up a rock and say, is about 2 pounds. A circumflex 1 of the 27 Ki is a Chinese term for bioenergy, also known as prana or cha. Trademark I. 28. A point is a local term for Montauk Point, the end of Long Island, New York. 29. The LMS or another intelligent species native to Earth, abundant in legend and mythology as elves, sprites and pixies. Referred to these days as Lemurians, not Lemurians, a French word that means the people of the sea, water babies on the west coast of America, or the KK in Scandinavia. Stargate SG-1 trademark as Nogs, a race of peaceful Ets, are remarkably similar to the LMS. 30. Keely had a difficult time keeping his technology working, because he was building it during the Industrial Revolution surrounded by incompatible technology. Also, the majority of current research in the vibratory physics is operating under a misconception. As mentioned in the geoengineering paper, they got it backwards. Most of the tuning required to get a vibratory device operational is to neutralize vibration not create it. Like Keely, LM Tech is based on the neutral center. 12 time and timelines. LMS would pick up the same rock and say, a euro o 80 euro trademark SB dash flat. A circumflex euro. Their sensory organs work differently than ours. Our physical senses are more along the lines of the race we have a genetic similarity to, the SMS. We can utilize SM technology easily, but LM tech would be better relegated to singers and musicians, as it deals more with the cosmic/coordinate time aspect of things. SM tech is purely spatial, which is why it was the preferred technology for the Phoenix projects. To understand these technologies, one must first be acquainted with the concepts of three-dimensional, coordinate time creating a universe of its own, and that universe exists concurrently with our own three-dimensional, coordinate space realm. It is not a parallel reality or tucked away in some far corner of the universe. It is right here, right now, just shifted out of phase with our spatial reality so our physical senses do not detect it. However, our non-physical senses can detect it, and operate within it, which gives rise to a psychic ability. A precognition is nothing more than seeing something in the distance, in the temporal landscape. Telepathy is two people standing next to each other in time chatting, regardless of how far apart they are in space. Telekinesis is just manipulating the temporal component of an object with your temporal arm, and watching how time changes space. A circumflex clairvoyance is a pair of temporal binoculars. Clairaudience is yelling down the street at someone in the temporal landscape. Clairliance is a barbecue in the temporal neighborhood. Virtually all of the extrasensory abilities are easily understood. 31 Once you realize that you exist in two different realms, a spatial, material one for the body, and a temporal, cosmic one for the soul. 32 And the funny thing is, they are in a trademark to extrasensory, a magical or metaphysical. It's all just a natural consequence of biological life, which we can either choose to learn and use, or ignore. In closing, trademark LL pass on a little secret. Think back to high school math class, and a rather annoying little concept known as an imaginary number. A number that acts like a rotation and does not exist anywhere in space as a quantity. From a young student trademark's perspective, imaginary numbers are harder to deal with than fractions. From our perspective, time is a polar realm. Rotation is what occurs naturally. The material and cosmic sectors are better described as complex conjugates of each other. 33 So space is real and time is imaginary. But not in the sense of make-believe, but in the sense of the imaginary number. Understand the complex number, a combination of real and imaginary, and trademark LL understand the connection between space and time, yang and yin, body and soul. Since you know that coordinate time is trademark T imaginary, those funny little imaginary numbers are actually showing an interaction between the physical and metaphysical. And with the foot in both realms, it does open the door to those things that are beyond space and time. 31 Larson, Dewey B., Beyond Space and Time, various chapters. 32 People refer to the soul by different names. Sometimes mind, etheric astral body or spirit. The researchers in the scientific underground make a clear distinction, defining the soul as the cosmic body, the aggregate of cosmic atoms that are the unseen half of a life unit, of similar size and complexity as the spatial, physical body. The spirit is relegated to a beyond space and time. A circumflex 33 Larson considered the sectors reciprocals, but Professor K.V. Nader demonstrated in the 1980s that they were better described as conjugates, in order to preserve dimensional relationships.